on.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
It's Sunday afternoon, boys and girls. It's Let's Talk Sport. Let the mayhem begin. We're finally back. It's taken us however many weeks since the last time, but we've made it. And here's our new intro. Which is very much like the old, very much like the old intro, apart from the bits that I forgot to change. But
I like it. I like it.
There was some logos. We're getting there. It was the wrong picture. It was the wrong stuff. But yeah, hey, it's a work in progress. Much like this show, it's a work in progress.
It's a good start. We'll need some.
One of these days, we will have our stuff together.
Yeah, one of these days,
not this
we'll have
Sunday,
a perfect intro.
No, one day. One day.
I mean, if anything was perfect in us, it's not going to be our intro, is it? Let's be honest. So, how you been, Matty? It's been a couple of weeks. It's good to catch up.
Yeah, good man, good. Just the Chelsea roller coaster has been continuing. I've had my moments. I've got mad. That's about it. But I'm coming around. Things are anyway. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad. It's good to see you. I mean, I know you've been busy with Let's Talk Sport, and Dan's kind of got you up and running with stuff. So I know you're starting to really jump in on some of your
trusting me
shows
with the keys to a lot of stuff. That's very brave, Dan. Very brave. How are you doing, man? Italy, my boy?
Is this a new hoodie? Is this a new hoodie you're sporting here, my man? Let's have a look at this. This is
very nice.
Oh, that is quite sweet, actually. That is
clean.
Pretty sweet.
Thank you.
I like it.
It's very clean.
Christmas from my sister.
Nice.
Very
Sometimes
nice.
sisters nail it, don't they? I mean, that is a nice top.
I was shocked, to be honest. But it's good.
It's good effort. I think she's done well.
Yeah, on first time in 6 months, I'm happy. So we won a game. We won a game that meant something, but I'm gonna be honest. I think the reason why we won is because Everton's worse.
which is saying something, right? When you're taking the positives of who's the worst team in the league, and you're not it, then you've got to take the rough with the smooth when you're wearing claret and blue. Where do we start? Since the last time we chatted, I mean, you finally got a striker, I suppose.
Yeah, Danny Ings.
Danny Ings, who's now got the full set of claret and blue outfits because he's been to Burnley, he's been to Aston Villa, now he's got his West Ham. He's ticking all the boxes. How do you feel? Exactly. You happy that he's come to the...
I mean, I'm happy. I love Danny Ings. He's one of my favorite players in the Premier League, but he's not going to change. He's not going to change the culture, though. He's not going to change this team. It's just a piece. If you really want to go out and get in and make this team good again, you get rid of Moyes, you get rid of Rice. You got rid of Dawson, thank God, and you just got to get rid of Antonio. And then bring in a couple new pieces. And then this West Ham team, I have confidence that we'll get back on track. And stop playing Fabianski. Put Areola in there. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I like the Danny Ings signing. I like that we won. I just don't know how long Moyes is going to be here for. Could be the end of the January. Could be the whole entire season. But Ings was a good start, and getting rid of Dawson was also a good start.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Ings, and I'm sure you do as well, Matty, up at Liverpool. He runs. He's honest. He gives you. He can score a decent goal. He'll get in positions to score. He'll be the kind of player that will run all day for you, and he'll throw his body around, and he'll give you the effort, which sometimes is the spark that you need on a team like that. And do you think you're kind of in a holding pattern with the whole changing in the boardroom and everything else? You think this transfer window might be a quiet one while the team are kind of out there checking out any sort of potential buyers, seeing as you have lost your chairman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think this is the time to not only for this team to get back on track. I think they're looking at coaches. I think they're looking at all kinds of different possibilities, but I don't think no one wants to come here. I just don't think it's an exciting project right now. I think it was last year. I think last year was exciting. I think the summertime was exciting, but if we're really going to get back on track, we have to bring in not only people, the owners and chairmen needs to get off their regular high horse and do some things different. I mean, bringing in signings was a first start, but get some experienced people that know how to play in the Premier League. That's why Ings was such a good signing. So I'm with it, but I'm also on the fence with it. I'm 50-50 right now. I hope we can continue just to bring something in.
And as you say, you might have turned it, but that 3 points you got this week it was huge. I mean, it was a 6 point, one of those archetypal 6-pointers because you're down there in the bottom. You know, it's suddenly you're against what seems to be a relegation rival.
Right.
It was a massive win for you guys. I mean, you're up now, what, 16th, 15th, 16th? You've jumped up to with that win.
Yeah, we're not in the bottom 3 anymore, which is nice for now. So hopefully next game, especially with the FA Cup coming up and with I think we're out of the Caribou. But wait, are we in the FA? No, we're not. Conference League. If I think what's really interesting is if we can win the Conference League, but somehow still get relegated, that's never been done before. I feel like so. I don't know if has that been done before. If you win a major competition,
like Coventry won the FA Cup, didn't they? Coventry won the FA Cup and got relegated the same year.
Wigan did the FA Cup.
But that was Wigan and so. But that was, you're talking about 6-7 years ago.
Good while ago now. Yeah,
it's a good while. But for a European competition, I don't think that's ever been done. Because the European competitions are all over the place now, and winning the Europa Conference League that never existed before, unless it was wasn't that the Intertoto Cup or something before,
something like that. Yeah,
I
feel like West Ham is such an interesting prospect at the moment, right? Because I guess the like position that you guys were in was kind of already like precarious enough. Obviously, like the league position kind of wasn't good enough, and now like we've mentioned, like with everything going on, like at board level as well, like all of a sudden that's a lot to be going on for a team. So I think making signings, like especially in this January window, is always going to be kind of weird. Like obviously every club wants their club to be, like building towards the future. But I think, when it gets to January and the league position is what it is, I think making signings like a Danny Ings is smart. Like you said, it's someone who knows the league. He's proven and tested, and like especially in these situations as well, like Danny Ings is going to be one of those players that's up for the dogfight. Like he knows what it takes to kind of battle through these situations. So I guess maybe for like future proofing the team, probably not the greatest signing in the world, but I think considering like where West Ham is right now, I think that's exactly the kind of signing you guys need to be making right now.
Oh yeah, it's an 18-month signing, isn't it? It's not a 3-year signing. It's the end of this season,
and he's only 30. I thought he was like 35.
He's not around. He's had a couple of years.
So I could see him staying around for 3 years. I could see.
I think he's one of those players that I feel like he kind of broke onto the scene at such a young age that it just feels like he's been around for so long. He must be like, he must be way over the hill. But I mean,
must be hanging up his boots.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. To be fair,
but I mean, most of his early 20s were on the physio table, weren't they? So I mean, that's the other thing. So he might be 30, but he's not got a 30-year-old sort of legs. He's not run to the ground because a lot of his time has been spent physioing with knee injuries and whatever else.
I think if you can keep him fit, he will guarantee you enough goals to do good things for your position. So I think if you can keep him fit, that's a solid signing.
And not only that, he's one of the best coming off the bench. I mean, he's one of the best to do it in the Premier League coming off the bench. He's scored more clutch goals off the bench than I can think of some people right now that I can't. But like it's really interesting when it comes to Ink signing. We only got him for like 15 million. Like that's really cheap.
That's cheap.
Now it's cheap. Back then it's like you're kind of stretching it a little bit. Well, I remember when 20 million was expensive. Remember that? Remember when 20 million was expensive, and now it's like nothing anymore?
Remember Rio Ferdinand being like, what was it? Rio Ferdinand went from West Ham. He went
to West Ham, yeah.
He went from West Ham to United,
right? Yeah.
It was like 28 million, and it was like, that's hugely expensive. And you think, how could you wouldn't even buy Rio's right leg for 28 million? So yeah, it's crazy where the money and how it's disappeared. Matty, Chelsea kind of on the turning a corner or balancing out, or where do you think you are?
Dude, how much money are they going to spend in January?
Yeah,
And
listen,
also,
Like
are
500
they
million,
just
I feel like now. No, it's got to be. At
are
least
they
300.
just anytime anybody else goes to sign somebody, did Chelsea just go, "We'll give you $1 million more"?
Right,
Arsenal,
right,
Arsenal were about to
right.
sign Mudryk, and they went, "We'll give you $5 million more than them."
Right,
So
right.
what's
That's gonna
next?
be a
Is
good
it?
one though.
It's
Modric's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
a
good.
good one. I love him.
Be a
I
good sign.
I kind of I
I
kind
kind
of
of love
love
what you did to Arsenal.
how.
I love that you.
Oh
Because
God,
Right,
yeah. I feel like what? Fine, they're going to win the Premier League. We'll just buy everyone they want. Have
right.
Leandro Trossard. I don't care. We'll have João Felix and Mudryk. We'll have this season. We'll have the next 10. I don't give a shit.
you can
No,
have the Brighton rejects and the Brighton
Right.
second team.
yeah, we've had enough of buying people from Brighton and still being worse from them. So I feel like we've learned our mistakes in that regard at least.
Right.
Yeah, mate. I don't know. I think the Mudryk signing is going to be fantastic. It does
Facts.
100% seem like we just did it to annoy Arsenal Football Club, and potentially
I'm
with the
okay
João
with that.
Felix signing as well. And yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm totally fine with that. They do look like they're going to be really, really good. I think what I've seen from João Felix so far, he looked incredible. Obviously, until he got sent off. I guess you can take the kid out of Atletico, but not the Atletico out of the kid. I guess so. Fine.
For Benfica.
Yeah, exactly.
It was definitely a Diego Simeone tackle.
Oh, 100%.
It had it all over. Yeah,
Absolutely tell he'd come in from Atleti. And again, Mudryk, he's looked good. Really impressed with Badiashile. 2 games alongside Thiago Silva, 2 clean sheets. That's solid. Yeah, I mean, still no midfielder, which I won't lie, does stress me out a little bit, considering that really feels like what we need. And still no backup right back, which is, I feel like this is such a strange situation to be in, because it's like everyone wants their owners to spend money like Chelsea owners are spending money. And we are, that's fantastic. But I still feel like we're really not addressing the actual issues of the team. Like, we need a backup for James. He's getting injured a lot. And the drop off from, to Azpilicueta, or Chalobah's been playing there like a little bit, but he's not a right back. Like we can't. He's been doing a job, but that can't be the long term.
You can't be planning for that, as you say. That drop off.
No,
As soon as James goes off, you lose so much out of that.
Yeah,
it's similar to Liverpool, in that sort of same situation when you've got a right back that is that level, and then as soon as you bring in a backup or you bring in the secondary guy, the drop off is the guy who comes in is doing a job and is solid and whatever else. But if it's not that same kind of player, or it's not the level that your first starter is, it really impacts on the team, and it really impacts on how the team plays and how the whole game plan.
Well, it's not only that; it's Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool is kind of the same way. I mean, they shouldn't have gotten another striker, but they should have gotten more midfield. Like midfield was your main problem, and maybe another defenseman somewhere in there. But I mean, I do understand that you got a couple injuries up in striker, but you still have Firmino though, and I still want to keep him for some reason. So I think the Gakpo is kind of like unnecessary in my opinion. Maybe you should have gone for more of like a midfield guy.
I agree. I don't know. I'm not. I love the signing. I think he's a great player. But
I think but like you only have one good season in World Cup, and now all of a sudden he's getting.
All of a sudden they grabbed him and bought him for whatever.
Right, for a long
not,
money. Yeah,
it's a lot of money for a kind of an unproven guy. But I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
I mean, you're right. We needed to use that money on a Bellingham or a couple of players in the middle. That's where we're falling apart. That's where the real holes are being shown up at the moment.
Unless that's the only thing I can maybe think of is unless Liverpool are just gonna wait till the summer and then go all out. Because I guess trying to sign someone like a Bellingham in January, that's always gonna be like tough.
Right. Especially coming off the back of the World Cup and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So
everybody was talking about him, but
I feel like that's
the flip
maybe
side
like
is if they haven't done it now, have they missed the trick? And are Real Madrid going to come in and go, "Here's 200 million"?
Yeah, it's worrying. There's going to be a lot of clubs competing for someone like a Bellingham. I know you guys got Arthur on loan. Has he played?
Dude. Is he still injured? Is he still injured? Yeah, he's broken.
He was almost fit to play, and then he injured himself again, and now he's out for the season.
Wow!
Oh my god! Wow!
I don't know what happened.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know why we got him. I don't know what the thought process was behind it.
Right.
It was like a panic, get somebody in on loan.
I was going to say, it just seemed like a get a body in type move, Jobby, rather than actually.
He's just basically.
I heard you guys, the reason why you got him was because of the Brazilian connection. And also, you were trying to steal one from Tottenham and Arsenal. That's what I heard. I think that's one of the reasons why.
So it's like you guys can't have him. We want him.
Yeah,
the agent, the agent somewhere is sold as a kipper. We've bought on it. We've snapped at it, and literally
facts.
I don't think the guy's able to put his boots on. He's like so broken. He can't even do anything. It's just bizarre.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
I mean, I think they were hoping he was going to be another Thiago. You know, he's come in, he's got a bit of experience, he's been around, and he might bring that level-headed quality. And if he ever laces up and ever gets on the pitch, then maybe. But it's not going to be this season. I think I remember reading that whatever injury he's done his knee like properly, and it's like a season ender. He's not coming back until next year. It's like, just send him back then. You know, it's one of those. Yeah. We took him on loan.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. What is in it for Liverpool to keep him hanging around now?
What's the point?
Surely you can send him back, but apparently no. They want to look to keep him. It's like, I don't know. Something's gone on there. Maybe, as you say, maybe it's keeping somebody else happy, and having his mate around means that Firmino is not kicking up a fuss. I don't know. There's lots of things not gelling, not clicking for Liverpool right now. Yeah. That's a weird one. The midfield just seems to be leggy, slow, showing their age. Salah's drop off in form is the one thing that's worrying me massively. Nobody seems to be talking about it, but a man can't hit the side of a barn door right now.
No, it's gone very under the radar. Like, I think so I was actually I was doing some reading about this the other day, and I don't think it hit me actually kind of how dramatic that fall off had been until you actually look into the numbers behind it, and it's like, oh my god, it's like that's wow, okay.
And that's, I think, why the focus is on Nunes has come in and he's not scoring and he's missing so many chances, and it's like because the expectation or the hope was that he would fill that gap should one of our other front three not hit not be hitting the heights. But the problem is Nunes isn't hitting heights, and Salah's also not hitting them, and they're and 2 of the 3 aren't working, and then.
And now it's like you don't even have someone like a Mane to kind of pick up the pieces, right? Is like, that's a lot of, I guess that's a lot of problems for that front line to be going through. Like losing Mane, Salah still not being on form, the new pieces coming in, not necessarily having the effect you guys would want. Like that's a lot,
especially
for a front line to go through.
Losing Diaz and that directness that Diaz had was a problem.
Oh, for sure.
Losing Mane's 22 goals obviously is going to be a problem for any team. It doesn't matter. Sure. But the fact that Mane left, Salah's started off okay, but has literally just fallen off a cliff. And nobody else is chipping in, and Firmino can't get in the team, and Jota's been injured, Diaz has been injured. It's like, and then that's why I think the Gakpo thing was a reach, but I think they almost felt they had to because they were like, Nunes isn't working out yet. He's still too raw. Something we need a Firmino-esque type player, and I think Gakpo is that kind of drop back 10 role, kind of play the passes and do all that. But we're kind of playing him on the left wing at the minute, which is it's not going to work for. He's not your direct.
He's not that kind of guy. He's more of a central guy.
Yeah, he needs to be a number 10 or just like the Firmino role. He can run, he can lead the line, but he drops in and plays the passes for the other guys. And at the moment, we're not getting enough of the ball to allow that to work because our midfield is leggy and slow. And we're not getting that sort of dynamism out of that one. And then, and then that knocks on and it goes back. And then you look, well, the defence looks shaky. Well, of course the defence looks shaky because the midfield's not working and then the forward line's not working. And there's only so much that the back four can do when it's, not working ahead of them. I mean, to be honest, I thought we were lucky to get a point at Chelsea, at home as Chelsea, which is, considering 2 seasons ago, or for the last 2 or 3 seasons, Fortress Anfield, even Chelsea coming wouldn't normally have worried us to. And to be honest, Matty, Chelsea in the current up and down form they were having, I would have had that as a home win. But we were lucky to get out of that with a draw.
No, big time. Sure. I think when I knew we were coming against Liverpool. I think, like you said, that's one of those fixtures, especially over the last sort of 4-5 years, that strikes fear into you. Like no one wants to go to Anfield. And I think I feel like our game the other day was a really strange one because Chelsea actually played some really good football for the first time in what feels like forever. But then it's also a weird game to, I guess, look at because I don't know how much that says about is it starting to finally click at Chelsea, or maybe did just another misfiring team make us look a little better than we actually are. I guess, like, you know, it kind of feels like it could be a mix of the two. Like, you know, we did start playing some good football, to be fair, but you know,
is that because we let you play? Because we're also in a funk
exactly. Because when we come up against other
draw,
teams, we have looked dreadful.
Yeah, and is a 0-0 draw really indicative of the fact that we are 8th, 9th, 10th, and that's where both of our teams are right now. We are that's the level.
And you guys will probably not make either of those competitions either. I think you'll just be fighting for
it'll be a stretch from here,
Cup, Caribou, and league next year.
For 4, yeah. So, I mean, the only way we're going to get Champions League now is if we win the damn thing.
Exactly.
Only way we're going to get back in the Champions League for next season. Cup run, maybe, but even the cup runs nowadays don't just guarantee you Champions League.
I just feel like seasons like this are so hard because I kind of look at this and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like Chelsea really need this kind of season because we've been underperforming for so long and just so happening to kind of scrape Champions League and stuff like that and kind of, you know, winning trophies when we don't necessarily deserve to. Obviously, Liverpool have kind of been more consistently good. But I think obviously sometimes you need that like rebuildy season, but then with obviously how much money is in football and stuff, like missing out on that Champions League, that is big. And then that
even if it's just one season, it's just one season you lose out and think, oh, it's not. But the problem is you then lose out on a season of signings because you want players who want to play. They want to play Champions League, and if you can't offer Champions League, it's like, and then you lose that aspect, and then it's that knock, as you say, it's billions. It's a huge amount of money that you lose out on. So, and you only go, oh yeah, you're in Europe. But I think I read somewhere the other day, you know, if you're in the Europa League, you get for every £4 that you get in the Champions League, you get £1 in the Europa League. It's like that's the difference, and it's like, oh, that's
and not only that, it's starting to get to the point where with the Juventus stuff coming out, like people are going to start up talking about the Super League again. Like it's going to get to that point where because of so much money being lost and even being gained, people are going to want more. And I think that's why, unfortunately, I am against Super League. But I think it's going to.
It's not going away, though, is it? Yeah,
it's going to pop up again. It's going to pop up again.
And it's interesting, you know, with Liverpool again now as well, being FSG hawking them around, realizing that, you know, Man City, you know, that Etihad owning Man City, Saudi Arabia owning Newcastle, FSG are now thinking we got to sell up. We got to sell up. We can't keep up with that lot. There's no way we're going to be able to make the sort of signings that's going on there. The Super League thing is going to rear its head again. And then, you know, and oddly enough, Matty, you think about it, Liverpool and Chelsea have been allowed to be, I suppose, not great, but you know. Have managed, as you say, win a piece of silverware or make top 4, even with being way off the pace of the leaders or whatever else, and still getting Champions League and therefore still getting the money in and still getting all that. I don't think you can do that. And you look at that top 5, 6. There's now top 6, 7 now, whereas it used to be a top 4, and it would just be which way they were going to go 1 to 4.
It's not even that anymore.
Yeah, now with Newcastle getting the money,
exactly.
That's
the kind of kingpin, right? Is you've got teams like Newcastle who all of a sudden are making waves. Like it's not like they've got new owners.
They're doing everything that they wanted to set out and do, though. Like they've been saying it since the beginning when this took over that they want to win champs, they want to win the league. And I mean, I'm good for Newcastle, but it's going to become that again with other teams that from Saudi Arabia, from anywhere over there, are going to make big money to do it again. It's kind of worrisome a little bit, but at the same time, it's also good for the league that, hey, just add a little money in there and things could happen.
I mean, eventually the money will, filter down to
Yeah.
the lower teams and the lower league, and But I think you're right. It's going to be City, it's going to be Newcastle, it's going to be if Qatar come in and buy it, Liverpool,
Right.
then it's going to be that, and then you can look down that way. But eventually, does another Arab nation come in and buy their team and stamp it? It won't be, because FSG and looking to get out. You've got PSG. I don't think
It
Qatar are coming in because they've already got PSG, but there'll be another oil-rich nation will be like, well, we want to stamp that. We want to get our names on that one. So
hands down. And not only that, it's going to get to the point where, and I know me and you, Maddie, have talked about this, to where it's the financial fair play, like it's been passed to PSG and Barcelona, and especially what Juventus is going through right now with all the sanctions that they're getting. It's going to be worrisome for these big teams eventually, because then there's going to be deducted points. You can't get any into the leagues anymore. Then people are going to leave again. Because Chelsea, it's ridiculous to me that Chelsea's spending all this money right now when they had a scandal. Like they had a big time scandal, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, did people forget about that?
No. Yeah, it is weird. Like to be fair, even I have tried to kind of look at how they're actually doing it. Like the only thing I can think of is I know under the previous regime, we kind of obviously spent a lot of money on Roman Abramovich. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, woe is me, Chelsea fan. We never spent any money. No, we do with Big Todd Boehly and his big purse. Like whatever. Right? Of course we did. Okay, but I think if you look at sometimes how we dealt under Roman Abramovich, it was actually quite smart. Like when we spent the 97.5 million on Romelu Lukaku. If you look at the deals we kind of did out the back door, like selling people like Victor Moses and stuff, who people kind of forget even played for Chelsea, like because I did. But the amount of sales
did he ever play for Chelsea?
He did that one season. Conte won us the league. He was the best wing back in the league, and then he just
I'd say Conte
he went to Inter, then he went to Russia.
Conte turned him into like a
best right wing back,
right wing back or something. Yeah, but I remember he was at Chelsea for years, but he was loaned out to Wigan.
Yeah, he's just another one of those players.
Another one of those. Chelsea owns half of Europe.
I mean, dude, Chelsea has like loaned out 25 players. I feel like it just feels like I don't know if that's true, but like at least 10 to 15, at least.
It is mental, but. That's the only way I can see us getting away with this now is because when we spent all that money on Lukaku, because of all the deals we did out the back door, which no one really talked about, when we spent 97.5 on Lukaku, we actually ended up making from player sales about 105 mil that season, mainly from players that, never even get talked about. So even in that season, we kind of weirdly made more money than we spent. I know it's not always like that, but I'm assuming that's the only way we're getting away with it now is because we may have overspent previously, but never ridiculously because of like some kind of smart business out the back door kind of thing. And I know they're also offsetting it by offering like really long contracts. Like I know Mudrik's on like a 7.5-year deal or something. So
it's 8.5 year deal.
Is it 8.5?
Mudrik was 8.5 year deal.
It's getting like the NFL now, isn't it? The NFL, you see those.
Oh yeah, they're doing like they're doing.
Yeah, because this is the only thing that
much later on.
Because this is the only thing that I now find troubling as well. Is I'm not saying Mudrik is going to do this by any stretch of the imagination, right? But when you offer someone a 8.5-year deal, and I'm sure throughout that whole thing, he's probably getting paid pretty handsomely. One would imagine.
It's amazing.
He's not even saying that. That's going into trust funds. That's being shuffled. I mean,
but like
afterlife money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's afterlife money.
I'm not saying he's going to do it, but at the end of the day, what? Because he's only like 21, 22. Like, what is this kid's motivation to even actually bother playing football? We've literally set him up until he's like 31 with a contract, and if he doesn't live up to his potential, we'll have to release him, which means we'll just have to pay him the money anyway. Like, so, like, because I get offering a good 4 or 5 year contract, but if his future is pretty much guaranteed until he's 32, even if he just sits on his ass for the rest of his days, what is the point of him trying? Like I said, I'm not saying he's going to do that, but
But it's a risk. It is a risk that, and as we just talked about before about that sort of Arthur deal and the agent selling us a kipper.
Yeah.
That could happen. And, a club could fall for look at my player. He's amazing. He wants to come to you. He's young, la, la, la. You're buying a potential. And they go, yeah, here's an eight-year contract at 10 million a year for the blah, blah, blah. It's all guaranteed. And the guy turns up and literally can't kick a ball. He's got 2 left feet and whatever else.
Yeah.
Right. And then they go, oh, we've got to sell him on. And everyone's like, we ain't touching him with a barge pole. Good luck sitting him on the bench for the next 10 years.
It's like what they did with Rice with West Ham. We should have got rid of him sooner for even bigger money. Now he's only going to be worth like 65 million maybe. Maybe 70 at best.
Whereas the season just gone, you could have got him for like 85, 90 million.
No. We
probably got
him
110.
for like 90 to 100 million. That's how good he was because he played for England in the Euros. From switching back from Scotland or Ireland, wherever he was.
There was that. He could have played for Ireland, and everyone was happy he played for England.
He was on the top of his game. And then we could have got him for big money. Then we could have been fine getting new signings. But now we're looking at Manchester United midfielders now. We're looking in France now. And I'm like, no, you did this all wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. I love him. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But, dude, if you wanted to make a good GM decision, you should have done it last year.
Yeah. You always sell high, don't you? Even if he's he's your captain and whatever. If somebody comes and says to you, he doesn't want to be there. You've said it before, haven't you?
For God's sakes. You can't do that.
You could have got 95. You could have set it up in the right way. You could have had a bidding war between United, maybe City,
Liverpool, Arsenal.
You could have got
might be in there after Conte. Who knows?
You could have got a bidding war, and you could have easily gone up to 105, 110 million there, and that's the kind of money that he'd have got from that last year. As you say, now everyone's like, Bellingham's now the favourite, and he's now talking. They're talking 140.
I also don't want to be that guy and just throw it around, but he's exactly the kind of player that Chelsea needs. And I'm not being funny. We're quite clearly willing to just throw money at anything. So oh boy.
All West Ham need to do is go, it looks like Arsenal might be interested in Rice, and Chelsea will come along and go,
he's made it. He's made it known, though, that he wants to join Arsenal.
If anyone from West Ham was like, oh, hi, Chelsea, we have a midfielder who Arsenal said they kind of like, 200 million, bang, give him to us.
There you go.
Exactly.
How much of Arsenal
Exactly.
Arsenal said they'll give us 97 million. What can you
Absolutely fucking not. No way. Not on my watch. Give me him now.
Yeah. Can't have Arsenal having him. No, we want him. He's English. He'll tick all the right boxes. Here's 110 million, and West Ham would be like,
he's a 15-year contract, and we'll also.
There's a 15-year contract, and we'll give your firstborn keys to the city or whatever.
We'll name it after
we'll get a stand named after you. We'll call the training field after you. We'll call it the Rice Field.
I mean, but these last 2 series of games too have just been crazy as well.
Oh, it's been some mad.
Oh yeah, we've got games to talk about. My God,
I totally forgot about those. I mean, do we want to look at the previous round of games, or do we just want to? I mean, it was a couple of.
We're way behind anyway.
We are way back now. It's almost like looking forward because you could.
Let's just move on as if nothing has happened. And
pretend.
If anyone questions it, we'll just be like,
"Did you not miss? You must have missed that show."
Done.
Oh, we talked about that one. Right, here we go.
We did not.
So the Battle of King's Road
again,
tied for 14th. Tied for 14th. Look at that.
All right, lads.
Where's Chelsea at? 10. Liverpool's 9. Look at that.
10.
Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle. Wow, this day and age.
Just what is going on up there?
This is
Arsenal's
genuinely
in first place. Who would have thought that would happen right now?
This is
5 points clear with a game in hand as well. Let's not
such a weird season for us.
Can someone please explain that to me about Arsenal? People keep saying that they're like 5 points away for winning the title. Is that true?
No, they're still way off yet. I mean, we're only 20 games in. I mean, usually.
Oh God,
that's what I thought.
There's a hell of a long way.
This could change at any moment, though.
Yeah,
right.
Arsenal could lose 2 games in a row. City win 2 games,
and then they're in first place.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
I
that
hate
kind
these
of stuff.
announcers in the Premier League.
No, there's a hell of a long way to go. I think people are
normally. I think what's done it usually is if a team is 5 clear. Let's say they're 8 clear because they have a game in hand, and if they win that, they're 8 points clear. At the end of January, if you're 8 points clear, normally you're pretty much
there's not many teams that have
not many teams are going to capture that, right? Because normally at the end of January, you're 29, 20, 28, 29 games in.
Yeah,
because of the World Cup and everything, we're only at games 20. We're not. I think we're just about halfway.
Literally, 19 is halfway. So,
19, so 19
Arsenal have
games
literally hit the halfway point.
The only threat for Arsenal, though, in my personal opinion, is Man City. Like Newcastle, Man United, Tottenham, they're not going to do anything.
Newcastle are in there for top 4. Right?
No, I'm telling you, Chelsea win every single game that's left.
Man City with Haaland, there's no way that he is that guy to threaten Arsenal. He scored a hat trick today. I mean, or was it yesterday? Something like that.
Yeah,
but like,
I think.
I mean, gosh, the dude's a freak. I love him.
Oh, it is just unfair at this point, isn't it?
It is. And the
I prefer him better than Mbappe.
Yeah. With City, well, you could say that City could go on a 19-game winning streak from here on in and not lose because they've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And they could literally
I agree.
win
Yeah,
out.
You're right. You're right.
But it's Arsenal, and that's
Pep looks like he's giving up.
Pep, throwing his arms in the air and all the other bits and pieces. But again, it's mind games, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I agree.
Because Pep probably thinks he's got a mind game edge on Arteta because he taught him all he knows, type thing, right?
Yeah.
So as long as Arteta doesn't fall for that sort of line, then maybe it's okay. But I do say that if City go straight through and win out, then they're probably going to win it. Yeah. I don't see Arsenal being consistent enough to do the same, and that's the thing with the Premier League now. Is like if you lose 2 or 3 games, you're pretty much done and dusted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think City are already on that cusp now. They've already lost 3. I mean, if you look down, only Newcastle and Arsenal are the ones who have only lost 1 game. And
I feel like there's only I feel like there's 2 ways I see this going. I feel like it's either Man City from here on in, like caged animal, backs against the wall. They're just gonna go for it because why not? They've got nothing to lose at this point. So it's going to be like full send. It's going to be dangerous for anyone. Or it kind of feels like City this season are so good in spurts. Like obviously they are. They've got Haaland up top. It's scary. But it almost just feels like that season where when Liverpool won the league and they just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, and City just kind of kept stalling, and I was like, no, surely they're going to get it together at some point, and they just didn't. Like it feels like there's just a couple of a few too many kind of mistakes creeping into this City side, which is uncharacteristic. Or I guess the only other way to look at it is maybe are City just thinking, fine, maybe Arsenal have this. Are they going all out to finally win the Champions League? Question mark.
That is the one thing that's still missing, isn't it?
Yes,
that's exactly correct. I don't even know.
I mean, looking at it, did they go?
They just don't care. I feel like right now about the league. I think they're just there just to figure out Champions League more than anything.
Yeah, I feel like Pep's been coming up with some interesting comments about his players being hard to motivate. That seems.
Listen, I understand mind games. I know we've all talked about it, but I just don't. I don't know.
That seems like a weird one. Like I feel like going into a game as City and being like, oh well, I actually think we're the underdogs and making people think, well, hang on a minute, that's weird. Like I feel like that is like mind gaming. I feel like your own manager sitting there and saying my players are hard to motivate.
Right.
That feels weird.
Is that an internal motivation he's trying to throw it out to his players?
Yeah, and
we talk mind games and we talk Ferguson and we talk all that sort of Keegan-esque and all that sort of getting at the opposition managers. But is Pep kind of scrabbling around trying to find ways to get his own squad motivated after the World Cup and everything? And, not surprising when you look at that squad, right? That was a squad of players who underperformed at the World Cup individually.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. And there's not many who came back from the World Cup going, yeah, we did really well. We did, a number of their Belgian players. You look through it and you're like, not many French players there. So, you haven't got too many winners. Or Argentinians. Don't remember many. 1, 2. Look, So you wonder if there's
Alvarez, but he's just playing back up to Haaland, so that's like
dude. I know. I don't get that. I
don't get that. It's crazy. I mean,
it's like Liverpool. I don't get what they're doing either. So and Chelsea.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a weird season for us to have started this show, considering all three of our teams are terrible at the moment. Like, not even one of us is like, yeah, man.
Because West Ham had some of the biggest signings, and I was going crazy.
You were bullish about them at the start of the season.
Lucas Paqueta. Like, I'm like, what is going on? And now I'm like,
same up. Here we go again. I was the same. I put like as you do at the beginning of the season, you got some big signings at West Ham. You think
Areola, we signed him again. I was like, hell yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, here we go. And I was throwing a few of those into the fantasy football teams, and I was like, yeah, because they'll be good. And it's like, quick, get him out, quick. We'll get rid of them. Quickly. So
I looked up the Danny Ings contract, and we got him for 18.5. They said the reported fee was 15, but they're saying in quotations that's 18.5. But we signed him until 2025. So I'm actually okay with that. Okay. I'm actually okay with that.
To 2025. So you're talking
like 2 years, 2.5 years,
2.5 year contract.
That's not bad for Ings. I'm okay with that.
For a proven Premier League goal scorer,
only 30 years old, I'm okay with that.
England, he has played for England. He's still, I'm pretty sure. It was only in a San Marino friendly or something, but it's still an England cap, right?
Yeah, but plus, I guess that's always like when he comes to the end of that, it's obviously you can review it at that point, or even if in like a year and a half's time, if he's contributed enough to warrant an extension, then fine. But that actually seems like really smart business from West Ham, to be fair. I like that. I like that a lot.
I love it. Great moves. All right, Fulham versus Chelsea. Fulham will win 2-1. I'm sorry, Maddie. Fulham. I'm sorry. I know they lost 2 in a row, but I have no faith in Chelsea right now. Sorry.
You look at the table, you'd have to say that Fulham probably.
Yeah, that's the worst bit of it. I can't really disagree with
them. You can't really disagree with me.
Look, the only thing I would say is if we play anything like we did against Liverpool, we actually looked like we were maybe getting our ducks in a row.
And maybe a bit longer.
Modric start.
Mudrik's got
exactly.
He's got a week.
Madueke could potentially come in. It looks like now we've got Badiashile.
Do Chelsea fans get do Chelsea fans get sent a pronunciation sheet?
Mate, I've given them
signings because
absolutely.
Sometimes you're like, what? Do you just make it up and it's like it looks kind of like that.
Yeah, just go for it. That's Mudman and
Mudman and
Bad Boy. Yeah, just I don't know, mate.
John Smith. It's John Smith.
John Smith.
Can we go out and sign John Smith and Peter Brown, please?
I'm going to disagree with this. I think Chelsea are going to win. Obviously, keep it as that. If the room goes,
no. Groovy is the deciding factor.
I just think now that Badiashile and Thiago Silva.
Literally Badiashile. His name is probably not. It's probably Badiashile, right? And he's just making it up. Badiashile.
Banshee and Thiago Silva. 2 games, 2 clean sheets. It looks like we can. It looks like we're actually potentially defending again. So I think it's going to be 2-0. Actually, no, we can't score. 1-0 Chelsea. I think we get a 3rd clean sheet with Benoit.
Okay, wait a minute. You're going 1-0.
You're going
Chelsea.
Yeah, because I can't see us scoring.
With Mitrovic for Fulham.
No, he's
going to bully. He's going to bully you guys.
Dude, they have
when we lost 1-0 to
Man
Man City,
no way.
Thiago Silva pocketed Erling Haaland for 90 minutes, and I don't hear anything about it. Thiago Silva emptied his pockets, keys, wallet, phone. Massive Norwegian man, right?
Norwegian international. Yeah.
Groovy, you're a deciding factor.
Nah, mate, I get it. If you vote against us, I totally understand. We stink.
No. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Good.
I get your point. You might have turned the corner, as you say. A couple of clean sheets. You have got to win. Fulham. I've got a feeling Fulham might not believe in themselves enough. I still think maybe from a Fulham perspective, going down the King's Road, it's Chelsea. It's the local. I think somewhere. I think they just won't believe enough that they could do it. They'll get a goal, but I don't think they'll put the killer instinct in, and then I think that will give Chelsea the way back in. I think it will be a draw.
Oh,
all right, fine.
Okay.
Amicable.
I disagree, but I get it.
This is like a 4-0 away win, right?
Yeah, but we said that when they played City, and then Everton pulled it out of their asses.
Wait! Is this a home game?
It's a home game for Everton.
The only games Everton do well in are against big teams at home. That is a fact. It's the only. I'm going for it. I think it's like I think this somehow plays out to a 0-0. The only games Everton turn up for probably won't. This will be the one they get absolutely slapped up in, won't it?
Yeah, but we can all agree though. It's hard to play in Everton though.
Yeah,
their home
Everton
games,
will at least make
hard
it
to
difficult
play
for you
there,
when you turn up at Goodison Park.
It's like Liverpool. It's hard to play in Liverpool.
The crowd is the 12th man. I know that gets thrown around a lot, but
no, it's true though. It's hard to play in Liverpool. Like I mean, in Everton. Sorry.
Yeah. Normally at Goodison Park, I'd say yes, but that crowd right now is toxic. They want the board out. They want the manager out. That board is toxic. The place is toxic. Right. All it takes is for Arsenal to go there, get an early goal, and that place will turn super quick. The fans will just be like booing everything, and they'll be on the back of the players. And I can see the players literally capitulating.
And you know what's really interesting about Everton is just like they don't have that bad of a squad. Like their squad's actually not that bad. They got some good players. Even Pickford's there, and Pickford I questions a lot, but like he's still the number one goalie for England. Yeah, right. I don't think crazy the squad is me how bad they are right now.
I don't think the squad is terrible, but but
it's better than most though.
It's better than their position, right? It's better than their position in the league. However, their manager doesn't have the cuts to
Lampard's
pull it together. It's just
I would just argue, is the team even that good? Like, I don't want to be that guy, but like Alex Iwobi is still getting consistent minutes in 2023. Like, who allowed that? That's outrageous.
He should be he's a championship forward at most, right?
So it's like is it? And if they don't have Calvert-Lewin, they just don't have a striker. Like Anthony Gordon, by the way, I've never been more glad that Chelsea haven't spent like 80 million on a player in my life.
Yeah, somebody somewhere in Chelsea kind of went, actually, wait, we may have fallen for the hype there a bit.
Like, I get last season he was a big deal for them, but that was just kind of the hometown kid type thing. Yeah, my God, if we'd have spent 70 million on that oh my goodness.
Kid would have disappeared into the Chelsea huge.
So many loans.
Players. You got loaned out to
you would have been back
never
to Everton immediately.
Yeah, straight back to Everton on a you're our puppet now, and it would have ruined his career because he'd have been like, well, what am I now? I mean, I'm not the hometown boy at Everton. I'm just a squad player at Chelsea.
I'm just a guy.
I can't even get anywhere near my homes. The team that owns me, they're shipping me out left, right, and centre.
I think Arsenal is doing really well, but I think Arsenal it's going to be 1-0. They almost tied today. They almost tied today. Their last 3 games have been close. So
they tied today against a team in 4th. Yeah, they got a 3-2 win against the team in 4th, and United.
But they don't come out until the 65th minute sometimes.
They still score 4 against Everton in 15 minutes. They could easily score 4 because, as I say, they'll turn. The players will their heads will drop because the players are waiting for the axe. They know the manager's on borrowed time. They know the chairman's on borrowed time. The players know.
Are we talking about Arsenal right now?
Everton. We're talking about the Everton guys.
Everton.
So literally, what? Yeah, if Arsenal could not bother playing for 65 minutes, get a goal in the 66th minute, and Everton may as well just pack up shop and go.
All right, so 4-0.
That's my thinking.
Is that what you're thinking? I'm thinking 1-0, but 4-0.
All right. I'll stretch it to like 2.
What do you think?
Yeah, I really think Everton, and like it's kind of symptomatic of a Frank Lampardy type side. Like this is always what he used to do at Chelsea. That we would be so bad in the games that we should have walked, but whenever a big team rocked up, or we rocked up to a big team, we were somehow just kind of up for it and actually played okay. So I'm willing to admit Arsenal will probably win, but I think it's one of those games that's going to be weirdly tight. Like Everton will put in one of those performances that you're like, if you played like that every week, you'd stay up comfortably. And then they'll play like Bournemouth next week and look like a League Two
Sunday
team
League
crops
team,
up. Yeah, it'll be like painful. So I don't know. I think Everton will weirdly put a shift in. It's like we said it about City, like it was going to get ugly, and then that was what, like 0-0. Nothing really happened. So
all right. I still think okay.
Okay.
We'll stick a pin in that one. We'll stick a pin in that one, and we'll revisit next time. And we'll
watch it be like a 5-5 thriller, and we'll just all
absolutely ends the best game of the season.
4-0. Yeah.
Now this one's an interesting one because obviously Villa just lost one of their strikers, but Leicester are in kind of free fall as well. I mean,
I think it's gonna be tied. I think it's gonna be tied 1-1.
You're going for a draw again. I just never know what Leicester's going to turn up.
Exactly. You don't know what they're going to do.
Leicester are so weird.
Not half their team. Sorry, they're losing a couple big players. One's going to Atletico and one's going to Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're starting to look like the Leicester selling team of old.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's getting a bit dicey now as well.
I mean, where are they? They're what? They're just above West Ham.
Yeah, they're tied with us.
1 point, 1 point off the bottom. And on a run of form.
Yeah, can we talk about how tight that relegation fight is? To be fair,
I'd rather not.
Considering we're just over halfway, that's very cozy for like a
14th to 20th. I mean, nobody's really out of that. I suppose Villa would probably feel they're out of it, but I'd say
I think
it just takes one game, though. It's going to take one game, though.
2 games. I mean, Forest were bottom of the league 3 games ago.
Yeah. Now they're like changing it around a little bit.
They're like 13th, 2 wins, and you can see they're 21. And it's like it's not. Yeah, I'd say Villa are probably just about out of it, but 12th to 20th, I think they're all still
at the moment. A couple of good results below them and a couple of losses for them, and that looks a lot more precarious.
Dicey. I think. Very dicey. Yeah,
I'd be really comfortable if freaking West Ham just comes out and wins 2 or 3 games, and I'll be like, okay, then I'll be happy again.
Mm-hmm.
Happier.
I'm going to go with a Villa win.
Yeah,
they've looked good under Emery, but again, I think this could be one of those weirdly close games. Like it depends which team turns up. I'm happy with the 2-1. I'm happy.
I think Emery has got them playing functional, sensible football.
And he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. He gets them organised. I don't think I might be wrong. They might be out of the FA Cup, which gives them a bit longer to work with and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be one of those functional. Villa will get the job done. And as you say, it depends if the right Leicester turns up, it could be the other way around. But I agree. You just don't know who's still going to be at Leicester at this point. It's still like a week and a half away. So who knows what that squad in Leicester's going to look like?
Brentford.
Now this one,
Brentford's gonna walk away with this one.
Yeah, wow, Brentford haven't lost in their last 7.
Dude, look at that! Ain't that
That's sneaky good form.
That's mental.
That is good form. It's nasty form. I mean, I think it's under the radar, really good form as well because there's been a few draws dotted in and nobody's really picked up on it. But they're sitting.
They are the Leicester.
Where are they?
They are the Leicester.
Sitting pretty in quite happy. Just like
they're the Leicester of this year. Yeah. They're the Leicester of this year.
They're sneaking there through. They're coming through, and that's without Tony, right? Or is that with Tony? But he's kind of still with that thing overhanging.
Without Tony.
Yeah. But for the most part of it has been. I think. I think Southampton going to lose. I don't want to be mean, but they seem to. I guess like Everton turn up for big games. Southampton only seem to do well in cup games, and everything else kind of goes out the window. Right. So because it's a regular season game, I think Brentford will do him. To be fair,
I think Brentford will do him. But again, as we've said, James Ward-Prowse at Southampton will always get you a goal. Why
can never write him off? My God.
Somebody go and give Southampton 20 million for that man.
I remember the last time you said that. No, he didn't. The one before he did, but the latest one he didn't.
What do you think if Southampton do finally take the trip back down to the Championship? Does Ward-Prowse, is he finally tempted away from Southampton? Because
he better be.
I know it feels like there's a lot of players that are too good to be in the Championship, but surely Ward-Prowse is too.
Come to West Ham. We need you.
Anywhere, he has to be. I mean, he's on the fringes of the England squad, right? He's still on the edges of the England squad, and if he goes to the Championship, he loses that. I don't, even though
I would also just potentially say, like, generally in terms of a dead ball specialist, I can't think of many other people I would want over a dead ball over like James Ward-Prowse. Like, I think he is so ridiculously dangerous from a set piece. Yeah,
you'd be looking at that. You'd be looking if you had a free kick, you think 20 yards out, just slightly right of the D. You go what? James Ward-Prowse, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
You kind of sat there thinking that's an XG of 1.
That's and then you go, who's
you
next?
Know where his mind's at.
Yeah.
No, exactly. It's just a weird one because I feel like he's had so many opportunities to leave, and I just feel like if
has the loyalty badge been over?
Surely that would force his hand.
Loyal?
Like I feel like as long as Southampton are in the Premier League, I think he's got a really good reason to stay, like, other than just wanting to be loyal. But I feel like if they went down, it's like, man, you're far too good to be in the Championship.
I mean, is he the big fish at Southampton's pond, right?
Yeah,
so as long as they're in the Premier League, he'll still get the goals, he'll still get the assists, he'll still get noticed for England. If
be that it guy still,
if he goes to City, or if he goes to, does he end up being another Jack Grealish where he kind of scrabbling around squad player trying to get on the bench and whatever?
It's like the same with Wilfried Zaha.
He's got to go to the right team. He's got to go to the right. He's got to be smart.
He's got to. He can't just go to a big team. He's got to go to a team where he'll play and he'll get the minutes, and they'll use and they'll know.
Come to West Ham
is a great score, great shout for him. Bournemouth wouldn't be a bad shout if they stay up, but if they stay up again, Brighton would be a good place. He likes the South Coast. He'll stay on the South Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brighton.
Speaking of Brighton, they're flying high.
2-0. 2-0.
I don't know.
2-0
without Trossard.
Yeah, yeah, but
even without
Brighton will lose Trossard, and then they'll sign some kid from like Burkina Faso for 500 grand, and he'll somehow be even better. Yeah,
even better. They've got some scouting thing going on in Brighton at the moment.
Their scouting department.
Do you not know who does their analysis and stuff? But yeah, props to them. Yeah, I think Brighton will be comfortable in this.
Yeah. All right, Man United.
This will be a good one. I mean, it's at Old Trafford, so you've got to think United probably favourites for it. Palace don't tend to travel to Old Trafford very well.
No, they do not.
Yeah. I mean,
Vieira. I mean, you've got Vieira who hates Man United, so maybe he's going to G them up enough. Zaha's got a point to prove.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking? Like 2-1, 3-1? What are you thinking?
I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I don't think Palace will really. I mean, they may get one. But I think it will be a garbage time consolation goal when the game's already done and dusted. I've got a feeling it will be like a comfy 2-0. But if Palace do get one, it will be in an 87th minute when United are kind of just playing out.
So 2-1.
I think so.
I can go more with that.
I mean, I know, as you say, United lost, but they lost in on the last minute to the league leaders at the moment. So they were on a pretty good run of form before that.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, some of their players are not getting it together as fast as you want them to be, but that's every team. I get that, but for the people that they brought in, like last year, it seems to be working out for them. And the resurgence of Wan-Bissaka is doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. So I mean, there's enough stories there with Vieira, Man United, Wan-Bissaka, Zaha. There's old teammates and there's lots of stuff there. But I mean, maybe it's old school bias, but you just got to favour United over Palace at home.
I think Liverpool is going to win this one.
Oh, I don't know.
It's going to be close, though. I think Liverpool's going to win, but it's going to be close.
I'm really struggling to think whether playing Wolves after they have just received a spanking from Liverpool, or not Liverpool, from Man City rather. I'm trying to figure out whether that's like the best time to play them or like the worst time to play them.
But also, it's the third time
It's
the third time we'll be playing Wolves in about 4 weeks.
I was going to say, I feel like you guys have run into each other a lot recently.
A lot.
We just played them in the FA Cup twice and managed to just about eke past them. And now we've got to play them again in the league. We know each other really well.
Mm.
We're not firing. They're not firing. It's one of those. Oh, it's going to be a scrap. This could be a real scrappy.
I feel like it's going to be like quite cagey. Like I felt this is going to be like a 1-1. Neither team wants to lose it 1-1 type jobby.
Yeah, it's almost like a don't lose this one.
Yeah, like
Klopp's. I think we're struggling to try and find our identity again. I don't know. And Wolves are one of those teams that they're not going to. Give you time. They're not going to give you, the chance to kind of play your way in. They're going to be at you. They're going to be at you. They will be biting at your ankles and stuff. I see it being a 1-1 and get in, get out. we got lucky. I mean, a 1-0. We managed to beat them 1-0 with a Harvey Elliott. Everyone's saying it's a wonder strike. It looked like a bit of a loopy over the top, and the goalkeeper's poor positioning to get through in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was a second team. It was a kind of a weakened team we put out. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, what 1-1?
I mean, I'm gonna say we edge it 1-0 because I'm Liverpool and I'm always going to think Liverpool are going to edge it, but I can easily see that being the other way around or a 1-1.
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree. I feel like all Liverpool needs is just one thing to click, like whether it's
just
Nunes or Salah rediscovers his form, or even just rejuvenating that midfield. I feel like once one thing falls into place, because I feel like if Salah starts firing again, that might even make this midfield think like, right, do you know what? We're not
Salah's back. All we need to do is get it back to Salah like we used to.
Yeah.
And if Salah starts scoring, then Nunes thinks, well, he's scoring, the pressure's off me. He'll get one that will go in off his knee. He'll get one that will go in off his arse, and he'll get one that will go, and then suddenly he's off and running. It's kind of one of those, and the downside is it is going to be against. It probably not against Wolves, but it might be against a Forest, or it might be against a Southampton. It might be against a team that's down there already struggling. That something clicks.
Yeah,
and then the worry is that they'll end up being a pasting for that team, and that might be us off and running. I just don't see it being against Wolves because I think they're just too good a team.
I think Wolves is a tough one to unless you're really on it like City just were today. I think they're a tough team to give a hiding to. Like I think they very rarely tend to get embarrassed.
They very rarely get rolled over, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, as you say, City were on it today, and City are a step above at the moment. So this will be a stonker.
West Ham, Newcastle. How confident are you feeling about getting St James's, my boy?
Unbeaten in 7, Newcastle.
At least.
I
think the last time they conceded a goal was November or so, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, if Bowen got his head out of his ass last game against Everton, so it's one of those things where he scored some good goals. So I mean, but it is Everton, so we got to figure that out. But I mean,
Everton and Newcastle are two different beasts.
Two different breeds. I honestly think we will score in this game because I feel like with Ings being here, Bowen's getting it together now. We didn't play that bad. So, and sometimes they roll over in the next games, or we could take on anybody, or face against a really good team like Newcastle is right now, or and fall on our asses. So I still think Newcastle is going to win, but I do think we will score. So I think it's going to be 3-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, I can see that. I
find it hard to argue against it. Newcastle at home are on a rich vein of form. They've got the whole Toon army is out screaming, shouting, loving it. There'll be naked men all over St James's Park, even if it's -5 degrees. I think and you've turned the corner. The new signing of Ings will definitely give you a spark, but it's a tough place to go anyway.
Exactly. And the thing about Newcastle and sorry, Maddie, sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. Go for it.
But I think about Newcastle and West Ham, and I think you guys can agree with me, is when Fabianski's in, we're not good. But when Areola's in, we have a good spark back there. It's going to be interesting what Dawson does, because when Dawson's with the Wolves now, we have to replace that. Are we going to fill it with the Italian? Are we going to keep Zuma back there? Are we going to put Carrier back in there? It all depends on who we put back there because Moyes is so loyal to his guys, doesn't change things up that much. It just depends on who's back there. If you put Areola in, if you put in maybe Carrier in there, or
I wouldn't put Zuma in there. He'd get torn to shreds by that Newcastle front line.
Exactly. See, it's so different. Yeah. It's so different. I don't know. What do you think, Maddie?
The only thing I'm thinking is I'm going to struggle to disagree that Newcastle are going to win this game. I just don't think it's I think they will win. I just don't. I don't think altogether it's going to be that comfortable for them. And I guess the way I mean that is I don't feel like they're going to be like ridiculously out of sight in this game. Like, you know, not that I think that West Ham are like the best team in the world right now. But Newcastle are really solid defensively. Like I said, I don't think they've conceded a goal in the Premier League since like November or something, which is absolutely ridiculous. The only thing I would say is that it does seem like, especially recently, like there's a couple of draws knocking in there. Their goals seem to have dried up a little bit. So like, I think they'll win. I think they'll have enough quality to get it over the line, but I don't think it's going to be a case of they're going to be comfortable and like out of sight for West Ham. Like, I feel like it's going to be one of those games that is closer than it feels like it should be, I guess, is the way to explain that.
It's going to be one of those ones that may end up 3-1, but it would feel like it should have been 1-1. And Newcastle, like they get 2 late goals or something that, you know, as West Ham push for a winner or something like that. It's going to be one of those, isn't it, where the scoreline may flatter or it may not. It may literally be the odd goal in 3. I just noticed that it is a 5:30 on a Saturday afternoon kickoff, so the Toon Army will have had all day to get up for that and watch all the others and to get properly beard up. That's going to be it's going to be a carnival atmosphere at St James's. Ooh, tough place.
It's going to be interesting. This game is going to come down to inches. I feel like I still think Newcastle is going to win, but I think because of what Maddie said and the way West Ham have won their last game. And it's different going back to your league and then going to the FA Cup. We won the FA Cup game. We went back to our losing streak. I think since we won in the league again, we won in the league again. Now it's like, okay, is this like a jolt? I don't know.
Is this the kickstart? Is this the kickstart you need? Yeah.
Exactly. And I also just feel like maybe of the times to be playing Newcastle, like I said, sure, that defensive record is scary. Like any team that hasn't conceded for that long, of course it is. But I guess if you're looking at it and thinking, at least maybe they're not as potent going forward as they used to be. So maybe like as good as a defensive record as that is, maybe this isn't the worst time to be coming up against Newcastle at St James's Park. Like it doesn't seem like there's going to be many good times at the moment.
Not going to be much better.
It feels like this might be one of the better ones.
I like it.
I like it. Unless, of course, you end up on the flip side and Newcastle start to click again, and then you end up.
Yes, this could be the game.
Moving on.
Let's just hope that's not the case.
Right. Let's hope it's not the case.
Let's move on to this. This screams 0-0 draw to me.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I think
definitely.
This is going to be 2 incredibly up for it sets of fans. I think it's going to be a really exciting game. However, there will be no goals. Yeah,
definitely.
It's going to be one of those fully hands-on, 100% committed 0-0
end to end, absolute
end to end.
You know,
tackles will be flying,
blown in. Yeah, absolutely.
Hands
I think
down.
But hands down, guaranteed the last game on Match of the Day for highlights, and it's
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
The only highlights you'll get for that will be the guys who get yellow and red cards. That'll be your tops.
Okay, so didn't Tottenham and Man City already play each other recently?
Was that a cup game?
I don't remember, but I remember seeing didn't Man City win 4-2? Or was that somebody else?
No, I think you might be right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure City have pasted
Tottenham went up
2-0 up, didn't they? Yeah.
Tottenham 2-0 up in the first half, and then
City came back.
Mahrez got a couple or something. I think that might have been a cup.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mahrez. That's right. Yeah. Okay, we're there now.
That was a cup game, though, right? It was the FA Cup.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Someone look it up.
Quickly look it up without me changing my screen again, which I seem to have a habit of doing.
I know. So
you noticed that, right?
I saw all your Twitter. I saw all your Twitter and DMs and everything.
Oh shit, that was Premier League.
Was it really?
Premier League? No way.
Unless they've literally just done the fixture list to be like they're just playing everyone in reverse.
They've literally flipped it around and they got to game 19. And
we're just going to have that really weird period where everyone's playing everyone that they have just played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. Thursday the 19th of January. Man City 4, Tottenham 2.
Yeah, because the old argument about Man City's fans came back up, didn't it? Because I know a couple of years ago, right, I went on my first away day. Wycombe Wanderers drew City in a cup competition. We were obviously going to lose, of course we were. But, we went up there anyway. It was a cracking day out. But one of my favourite bits of that was I know Pep did another interview recently before that game saying that the fans at the Etihad needed to get better. So the chant just ringing around the stadium was Pep was right, your fans are shite. And that seems to have come up again. To be fair, they were interesting fans. I won't say they're my favourite set of fans ever being at the Etihad. They didn't seem particularly nice, to be honest. Like they were very like when they went 3-0.
They're a very new breed of fans, aren't they?
They went
They're
like 6-1 up, and like the Wickham fans are joking like, "How shit must you be? It's only 6-1."
Yeah.
And they're literally chanting like, "We'll buy your club and burn it down." And it's like, oh mate, who do you think you are? Like, calm down, buddy.
Calm down. Remember, it wasn't long ago when you were, dredging
it's
around
just
the
like,
bottom of the league.
It just absolutely reeks of entitlement. It's like, Jesus Christ!
It reeks of bandwagon fans. It reeks of fans who've always I've been a City fan all my life. But did you ever go to Main Road when they were really bad?
I've been a City fan all my life, but I've only ever known us when we're good. Ah, yes, right.
Right. You've only been a supporter. You've been a fan all your life. You've actually only supported the team in the last 5 years. When you
have only ever owned a shirt with De Bruyne on the back. Yes, got it. Yeah.
Company or Aguero, and it's been the only shirt. Yeah, that's the kind of fan. Yeah.
I feel like City are going to win. I feel like Tottenham just seem so deflated. And like the news about Conte's leaving at the end of the season, it seems so deflated at Tottenham at the moment. I can't see them winning this personally.
I mean, I love that even Gary Lineker kind of came out and went Spursy. How Spursy was the game. I mean, if one of your legends and, he played for Tottenham and he's like, if even he's using the term, it was a Spursy kind of performance.
I think it's funny because they both have the same record the last 3 games. Yeah. That's what's so funny about it. They both lost, they both won, and look tied at this last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Which way are you reading that? I'm reading that the last 3 games that Tottenham won, lost.
No.
Oh wait, yeah.
What? No, I'm reading. They both. So the first one on the left. I'm not going by the right. I'm going by my left.
Oh.
So you're right, my left. Yeah.
I was reading that City have won because they did. City just won, right? So I'm thinking this is the last game on the right hand side.
The last game? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So literally they beat Wolves, and then the one before that is them beating Tottenham 4-2.
That's so weird. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I was going from left to right, not right to left. My bad.
No. But still, is that Tottenham? But I just think after
that means
Tottenham defeated.
Tottenham's not having that. Yeah, I think it's such a. It's so weird how at the start of the season it was all this talk about this fantastic window they've had, and under a Conte they've got a full season. This is it. And to be honest, even as a Chelsea fan, I was kind of worried they were going to do something like what Arsenal are doing. It was all going to click and everything was going to be fine. And it seems so bizarre to me that
this is where
we're only like halfway into the season. It's like, oh my God, like it's so deflated. Like Conte's not coming back.
Kane's not either. I really do think this is Kane's. I think this is it.
It feels
this
like
was
it.
This was the inevitable. This was the inevitable Spurs.
Yeah.
All the
Conteism does not outdo Spurs.
It doesn't.
Right.
He can't outdo it. It's just inherent in that club. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Players, manager, something about that team.
Yeah.
It's just going to turn around and bite its own tail and eat itself. And
only Pochettino was the only one that
he had it going.
He somehow managed to steer above it, or just ride the Spursiness, and just kind of went with it, and kind of almost knew it was coming. And I think that's almost what Pochettino did so well there. He kind of at some point it's going to go horribly wrong. Let's just try and get out ahead of it as much as we can.
I just think it's so spelled out at this point that something is fundamentally wrong, because when you are able to
get a goal though.
When you're able to insert serial winners like Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte and still not emerge with anything, it's like there's got to be something wrong. Like they are people that win things wherever they go. Not easily, but they get stuff
turned around. They win,
and it's
inherently there's just something inherently wrong.
That's not right.
Is it Daniel Levy? Is it time for Levy to go? Is it time for something higher up?
Dude,
it's time.
No. When they change management, Tottenham will be a very good team. Seriously, they will.
I feel like I've said that for the last 5 managers.
But look at Levy though. What's Levy done?
Okay, you mean like front office manager?
Exactly. That's what I'm
you
saying.
Don't mean,
I'm not talking about
you don't mean
coaching.
Conte, but like,
Oh,
they gotta be a full sweep in behind the scenes.
There's got to be a clear
There's
out.
gotta be a full
I
sweep.
think there has to be because I think Daniel Levy's just too ingrained there. He's too powerful. He's got too much say.
I also think the fans have just run out of patience with him.
I think they do too. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
But then who's gonna come in and buy Tottenham?
Yeah, that's the problem. There's
Saudi
a lot.
Arabia.
Why not?
Why not?
What have we got? So we got Qatar. We got Saudi Arabia already here.
Yeah.
We've got
Dubai.
Etihad. Dubai's already here.
Yeah.
Who's next?
What's next?
Where's the money?
Americans?
Where's the other one?
The Americans?
There's a couple of. They've got Chelsea already.
Hey,
That's
Todd Bowley.
And AC Milan. They just did AC Milan as well.
I mean, FSG have done wonders at Liverpool, but they're out. They're blown out of the water in terms
financially.
Of
it's just not like I think it's.
You need to be.
I do think that's pretty mental what Liverpool have been able to do with the way that they've run things, but yeah, just with how much money is coming in, that's not sustainable. It's not possible.
And the thing about Tottenham is they do have great talent, but there's only 4 of them that's only producing. That's keeping Liverpool together. That's the Swedish kid that they got from Juve. It's Kane, Son, and Lloris. And Son and Lloris signed extensions. Like I'm not
having that. I'm going to chime in here. Lloris needs to go.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. He needs to go back to France. He needs to go back to France.
Done.
Yeah.
Go back to France. He's put his gloves away, hang up, retire, whatever. You're done and dusted. Thanks very much. You've been a great servant
too. He's a toxic kind of guy too, as well. So
there you go. There's our fixtures.
I'm fairly okay with that, to be honest.
Comfortable. I'm fairly comfortable. We're getting at least 75% of those right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll revisit these next week.
Tomorrow.
We've got every single one of them wrong.
Right.
We'll come back tomorrow. All red. No,
didn't start tomorrow, right?
No, I think there's a little bit of a break.
There's a bit of a break. We've still got the FA Cup, haven't we? So 3rd of February is the next Premier League game. So
crikey, boys, what are we going to talk about next week?
Oh, we'll have to talk about the Cup games.
Cup and Carabao Cup. That's what we need to do. We need to do a League One and an FA Cup and Carabao Cup.
We'll have a cup special this time.
Cup special. There we go.
Every week.
How about that? Every week we got to try and tag it. When we're going to do it? We'll talk off air.
We'll figure this out.
Off air. Yeah, this is not an on-air thing.
This is an on-air thing. But gentlemen, it's been great catching up. It's been far too long, as we just said. Let's make sure that we do this next week. Everyone out there, thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. This has been Let the Mayhem Begin for Let's Talk Sports. I've got to try and find where the video is. There it is.